What's up, it's you for today's video with a full Pledge Moves Pokemon team. 5 years ago I did this team and I thought it's about time I redid it. Today I'll be showing you what Fire Pledge, Grass Pledge and Water Pledge do in battle in combinations. They cause a sea of fire, a rainbow and a swamp. I had some really great battles for today's video and I hope you enjoy. I actually really enjoyed doing this too. So I'm hoping you do too. Today we've got all doubles battles because these moves have to be used to their fullest extent in doubles. First Pokemon we got here is going to be a Mew and Blastoise combination versing a Drifloon and Stonejourner. So that seems to be like a pretty interesting matchup there. So with these combination moves here I've got a Fire Pledge and Water Pledge Mew. So with these type combinations, you'll use them together, right? So the first move won't do anything, and then the second move will, and it's all based on the speed of the Pokemon. So the first Pokemon that's faster will do the first initial move, and then the second Pokemon, as in the Blastoise, will do the attacking move here. So that combination actually put a rainbow onto the field. So what the rainbow does, it actually adds secondary effect chance, so it doubles it. So say moves of secondary effects, they'll be doubled as well. It's really cool. So I tried to make this Mew like a fully supporting set, so I had all the pledge moves, or as many as I could, and I had Helping Hand and Electro Ball was on there for another little strategy on this team too. So I thought it'd be really cool to use Muddy Water. You know how Muddy Water has the accuracy drop? I thought that'd be really cool if I could double the chance of that already on it and see if I could get some accuracy drops like even more. So Muddy Water's got 30% chance, so with the rainbow on the field that'll double it to make it a 60% chance, so that'll be really cool. So I've got this Stellar Blastoise. This is just a pure salt set. I gave it a bag of salt as the item, Bright Powder, and I gave it Water Pledge, Blizzard, Dark Pulse and Muddy Water. So Dark Pulse would be doubled to 40% chance. Blizzard would be doubled to 20% chance of freeze as well. So that was my strategy anyway. So we had this Drifloon. It was sort of like a support set, and we had this Stonejourner, which is also a support set as well. You don't get to see Stonejourner very often, but the first couple of Pokemon, well, I mean, Stonejourner would have fainted without a critical hit. Actually, went down there very easily. Now, Mew is max speed, max special attack, Citrus Berry as the item, also had Stellar as well. And Blastoise was max speed, max special attack, timid nature. Next Pokemon we got is going to be a Cryogonal. Really cool to see this. And I thought, well, this is very bulky on the special defensive side. So maybe I could try and get Mew to boost the power of Muddy Water and then go for an accuracy drop on him. So we got a Shadow Ball here, which is going to be actually dodged by Mew thanks to the accuracy drop I got earlier on. Going for Scummy Water again there. That is going to be enough to take out Drifloon and drops Cryogonal's accuracy. But it had an Absorb Bulb as its item. What Absorb Bulb does, it increases the special attack of a Pokemon when hit by a water move. So that was really random why they had that. They must have had some kind of strategy. Now, Blastoise is going to get hit by a freeze dry. They're almost taking me out. Next Pokemon we got is going to be Urshifu Rapid Spin, so definitely a no-joke Pokemon. I sort of wanted to see if I could flinch Cryogonal. So I tried to make as best use out of the secondary moves as possible and use Stellar to give him a little bit of additional power boost. So obviously it did nothing there, but I got an insta flinch with it thanks to the rainbow. Surging Strikes is going to be aimed at my Mew here, but this Mew, it's pretty bulky and it's got a Citrus Berry as well. So I knew I'd be able to rely on that. With these Pledge Moves teams too, you really need to have a couple of Pokemon. When I found out, you need a couple of Pokemon to have all the moves if you want to use them all, or you need to sort of rely on one kind of strategy there. Now, you can use the Pledge moves by themselves as a singular attacking move, but they just do damage, right? They don't have their secondary. So they've got 80 base power and all of them and their special moves, but they don't have any secondary effects unless you combine them. So now Blastoise is going to be going first. We've got the Mew going for Grass Pledge now, which is going to obviously combine into one. When you use these moves together and you combine them into one, it's 150 base power. So it's really powerful, which is nice there. Now, the secondary effect we got combining the grass and the water puts a swamp on the field. So now you can get Shrek to pop up and go, this is my swamp, right? Now, what that swamp does, it actually quarters the opposing opponent's Pokemon, their speed. So they're very, very slow. So I thought Electro Ball and Swamp combination, that'd be pretty cool. Out comes a Moltres here, and Blastoise can simply go for a Muddy Water again. Funnily enough, I got some good damage here on the Moltres and on the Crocodile, and an accuracy drop on Moltres, and that was great. Had a Pasho Berry, and I went for Electro Ball, and Moltres just got absolutely owned there. So that combination worked really, really well too. I tried to think of combinations that could work well with the Swamp, the Rainbow, and we also had Sea of Fire too. But more on that as we go into the battle. So Blastoise is finally going to faint there, but that was a really good start to the battle there. I took out a lot of Pokemon and caused a lot of salt. Speaking of salt, we got Greninja here. Now this, personally, I was going to run one pledge move on it, but this is actually based around the Swamp and flinching, right? And also having the Rainbow on the field. So I figured Greninja's got a lot of flinching moves, so I thought I could try and make use of that with the physical sets. We had Water Pledge, Rock Slide, so that would make it 60% chance to make Rock Slide flinch. Gunk Shot would be 60% chance of poisoning, and Waterfall would be 40% chance of flinching as well. So I went for a Rock Slide there on the Crocodile and the Crocodile. A little bit of damage there with Grass Pledge on Crocodile, and we got a flinch on the left, and we got a flinch on the right. And then an instant cancel after that. So there you go. First little look at the Pledge Moves team. If you enjoyed the videos, if you like the doubles battles, you like these unique sort of videos, hit that like button, people. Tell me all about it in the comment section. Let's get on to battle number 2. This is another random battle. This one is against Sarah. And we've got a Sableye and Dragalge lead here. So both of these Pokemon have reasonable bulk about them. Sableye more defensive, and Dragalge more special defensive. So I had a feeling that they might have Taunt on their Sableye. I went for Fire Pledge here with Mew. So Fire Pledge, I went with Mew, and then Blastoise, I went for the Water Pledge there because Blastoise was second. So if you want to use these moves right, you have to think about your speed and stuff like that. So the first Pokemon does the attack, but it doesn't do any damage. The second Pokemon will do the damage and have the 150 base. So you sort of have to form it that way. So I got a Rainbow up on the field, which is good. So now all the secondary effects are doubled, which is really, really good. So then I can go for stuff like, I was like, maybe I can go for a Blizzard here and try and get a Freeze. That'd be really cool. I also have Mew there just for helping hand to get some damage there. I felt that was, pretty important. So I was thinking about this for a bit. I'm like, I could go Stellar Blizzard. Will it take out Dragalge on one hit? Probably not, but it should do some really good damage to Sableye. Sableye's got to swap out here. Obviously, a little bit scared of being fainted. I can't blame them there. And we've got Lurantis coming in. They actually brought some really cool Pokemon as well. So I went for Stella here. Stella Blastoise was sort of like my go-to Pokemon, but I do show off some other ones as the video sort of goes on there. This is just good because I could select all the other moves and get a small one-time boost. So I just went for a raw Fire Pledge there with Mew, without doubling, and then I went for Blizzard. But of course, we have the opponent actually dodging the attack. We got the Blizzard off, and it hit the Lurantis. So poor Lurantis got fainted there. Skeletor's didn't even take any damage at all. Sorry, Dragalge, not Skeletor's. They called their Pokemon Skelly. That messed me up there. So we got 2 layers of Toxic Spikes on the field. In comes Mars, or at least it's not Uranus. And now I can go for a Blizzard here. So obviously I'm still taunted. I can't go for Helping Hand. So I thought I could just get some damage off with a normal Fire Pledge or Grass Pledge. Or I could try and get Blastoise to go for Water Pledge as well. So I decided to go for a combination of the Fire Pledge from the Mew and the Water Pledge. And I thought I'll aim that at the Espeon, right? So we got that flavor text there saying also they both combined together. And that is going to put the Rainbow back up on the field. So you're probably wondering how long do these last for? So they last for 4 turns, right? So you get the Rainbow for 4 turns, but you can keep setting it up, right, as you do it. So you can keep that up on the field if you need to. Same with the Swamp and same with the Sea of Fire, which you'll see soon. All right, so we got a Sludge Bomb from Dragalge. That does a lot of damage and poisons me, sadly, but it's all good. I've got probably 1 solid more attack in me, and I really did want to try and get a Blizzard off this time. Mew's going to shake off that Taunt, which is good, so I can go for a Helping Hand on Blastoise. I've got the option for go for a Dark Pulse as well, but I thought, oh, I'll go for Blizzard here. So Mew's going to go for the Helping Hand. Also, when you use the type combination moves of, say, like Water Pulse, the Fire and the Water, or Grass, or whatever like that, the Pokemon that uses it second will instantly go afterwards too. So I managed to get a Rainbow Freeze there on the Dragalge, which is really, really cool, and pretty lucky as well, because that wasn't a very good chance. Even with a double, it was only 20% chance, but that was really cool. So the Rainbow is going to disappear there. Out comes Scumbreon. Now, this is going to be pretty bulky. I was thinking maybe I could get, like a fat amount of damage on that Umbreon. Why the Dragalge is actually frozen solid, the poor thing, you know. Or I could go for a freeze on Umbreon as well. That'd be pretty funny. So I decided to go for the combination. So Mew goes first. So even if your second Pokemon is a bit slower, it'll instantly go second and fire that move off too. That's the benefit of using them together. So I got the Grass move off there, which is really cool. And now the Swamp is onto the field now. So the Swamp is going to quarter the speed of those Pokemon. Not that it really matters. Now we got a special attacking Umbreon. That was pretty cool. And it had leftovers as the item. That definitely had some special attack EVs to do that damage to my Mew. Nice. So Blastoise is going to faint there, but it did pretty well. I managed to get quite a few of the secondary moves to work there, like the freeze and stuff. That's what I was mainly going for. Next Pokemon is Cinderace. So this is actually my Swamp combination here. So Cinderace actually gets Electro Ball, and I thought I could, have a combination with some slow Pokemon and swap. So we got Electro Ball on this set. Libero turning into Electric type, and Helping Hand plus Life Orb. Fire Pledge, Electro Ball, Iron Head, and Bounce. So it was a mix set, max special attack and max speed, mild nature. So that is going to be the end of the Umbreon there, no worries. And we've got the Dragalge, it's just chilling there at the moment. It's chilling. So it's going to go for a Frozen Scald. And that's going to do some pretty good damage there to Cinderace. I don't think they expected to get frozen there either. The next Pokemon is going to be the Gliscor. So I'm thinking, well, I've got probably one more load left in me. I can go for the Gliscor, and then I think Mew's going to faint, and maybe even Cinderace as well. I could take out the Dragalge with a Iron Head, because I thought, Iron Head double chance of flinching. So Iron Head with the Rainbow up is 60% chance. So that's pretty cool. And then Bounce is 30% to paralyze, so that would make it 60% chance to paralyze. So I try to make a mix set that would work with the Swamp and with the Rainbow at the same time. So I'm going to get taken out by a Horseshoe. That's all good. I only had a little bit of health anyway. Cinderace has got one more turn left before it's going to faint to the Toxic. So bringing in Smeargle now. Smeargle was my other Pokemon that I loaded up with all the pledge moves. So we've got Sableye coming in here. It was pretty obvious that Sableye would probably go for a taunt against Smeargle, which I don't blame her, because Smeargle is mostly a setup Pokemon anyway. But I thought I could make some fun damage with Smeargle. So Smeargle, as you know, is not a very offensive Pokemon whatsoever, but I thought, I want to see if I can make Smeargle do all the damage, you have the 150 base power move. So I actually made this Smeargle a Focus Sash set with Moody, and I gave it max speed and max special attack, right? And I thought it'd be pretty fun with Stellar as well, right? So I wanted to try and get some damage. So I'm going to get taunted. Cinderace gets the Fire Pledge off first, which means Smeargle is going to instantly attack second with Water Pledge. And that's going to be 150 base power. And look how much it did. It was really good, right? And we got that Rainbow as well. So this turned something like Smeargle into a really, quite a scary attacking Pokemon, right? Cinderace is going to faint there, which is all good. So we've got two more Pokemon left. And we got the Smeargle as well. So I've got to get rid of this Sableye and the Gliscor, right? The Swamp has disappeared. With Moody, I was kind of hoping to get special attack boost. Next Pokemon we're going to have here is Sceptile. So Sceptile is a grassy pledge. I thought Focus Blast could be fun, like have a 20% chance to drop. We got Dragon Pulse is just sort of like a move in there in case I come across certain counters, and I also had Shed Tail as well. Unburdened as the ability, and Citrus Berry. So max health this time for Sceptile, and max special attack, Modest Nature. Stellar as the Terra 2. So obviously I could have a bit more of a bulky Sceptile, have that Citrus Berry, and then Unburn. It will double its speed then. So at the start, I could make Sceptile go second. That was kind of the, the strategy there until it, Unburn and activated, of course. So we got a Aerial Ace Gliscor. I actually managed to live that only because I had, all that health investment. And that's going to give me a little bit of a health back there with Citrus here. So it seems like the Sableye is fairly passive. It mostly is quite a passive Pokemon. And Gliscor just seems to be like a physical attacker. So we're both hurt by the poison here. I'm getting some Moody's here. I was hoping to get like a speed or special attack, but I got a special attack drop, which kind of sucked too. So this had a little bit of health left, and I could virtually go for anything just to finish off one of these Pokemon. So I just went for Dragon Pulse and finished off the Gliscor there. So all we had left now was the Sableye. Now, most Sableye do have Recover, and it can be a bit annoying to get around, depending on what the EVs are. So I got a crit with one Water Pulse, and then I had a Hex. I was like, oh, and Hex is going to take up my Sceptile for double base power. So that was bad. So I've got 2 Pokemon left. We got to get rid of this Sableye, right? I've got Smeargle as my main attacker, which is a bit of a worry, but it was a good challenge, So I got my special defense to rise so much. That didn't really matter too much. Last Pokemon is Greninja. Now, as you know, this is the flinching set, but I also have Water Pledge on here too. So I thought maybe I could get a pledge move here because Smeargle is going to be slower than Greninja, so it's going to be doing the double base power damage. Or do I try and flinch this thing? So I tried to flinch it, but of course it did have the recover as well. So this is going to be a bit of a problem. So especially because my Greninja was more of a physical set, and Sableye is more defensively bulky than special defensive. That's how most people build it. So I decided to go for Spore here because I figured they wouldn't go Taunt. Because I hadn't used a single status move anyway on it, and I just went for Spore and put it to sleep. So this is my chance to do some damage to it before I woke up. The problem was I needed to feint this before, say, Greninja. I kind of needed my Smeargle for some damage there, believe it or not. So this Greninja was max attack and max speed, and I had on there Naive Nature. So I pretty much just used the Water Pledge on there for a bit of damage or to do the double damage. So I went for Water Pledge and I did a double Water Pledge. So you can do double of the same move, so attack the Pokemon with Water Pledge, but it won't have 150 base power and it won't have any special combination or anything at all, right? So the Swamp is going to disappear. Not that it matters there. Also, the Swamp obviously doesn't affect stuff like, Prankster and things like that. It's going to be asleep for the second turn, and finally I can finish it off with a double base power move. So Greninja's going to go for the Water Pledge. Smeargle is unloading a massive attack there, and we got the Fire Pledge. And we're going to get a nice little combination taking it out. So there you go. There is the second battle there. This sweeping Smeargle. It was mostly terrible, but really, really fun to use there. And we had a nice little rainbow at the end there. We searched for the pot of gold of the rainbow, but I couldn't find it. Thank you, Sarah, for the random battle. Let's get on to battle number 3 now. I haven't shown you the Sea of Fire yet, but this battle I will. All right, next random battle. This one is against Lolix, and we have a Bruxish lead. I was like, man, you don't get to see Bruxish very often. And we've got Arachnid lead. So Arachnid's got a lot of special defense, so I'm going to have to hit that really, really hard. Now, basically, Bruxish is a physical attacker most of the time, even in singles or doubles. It can be, a lot of the time, it can be choiced as well. Choice Scarf or Choice Band works very, very well too. And it has strong jaw. Sometimes it can have its dazzling ability too, which blocks priority. Sort of goes in between them, but it's not really a Pokemon you see too often. So in comes Ludicolo, which gets torched with a Sea of Fire. So Sea of Fire looks really, really cool on the field. So what it does, right, it's basically sort of a damaging move at the end of the battle, right? So if you put the Grass and the Fire Pledge together, it'll do 1/8 of the total health at the end of the turn then. It hits, there's like an animation for both them getting hit by that. So I was thinking you could work that with like a flinching Pokemon, right? So you could flinch them, they don't do anything, and they get like additional damage from that as well. Yes, you can try and combine all of these moves these special type of moves all at once happening on the field too, which I will show in this video, which is really cool. And I also tried out something. There's a really amazing battle coming up at the end of the video, so make sure you watch the whole thing. It's absolute fire. All right, so I was trying to get around this this real bulky Arachnid here. I wasn't really too worried about Ludicolo now because it only had a bit of health left, and I knew that Sea of Fire would take it out. So I decided here to try and go for the Sceptile, right? Try and go for that Stellar Sceptile. I thought Stellar would be really cool for this team because you've got like lots of different types too. And the pledge moves also interact with Stellar too, which is really, really cool. So Mew's going to get that helping hand off here against the Sceptile. And Sceptile, I just went for a straight up Grass Pledge, right? I thought that'd do some really good damage here, and it did. It almost took it out. Almost took it out there. Very good damage. Now Ludicolo is going to make us all dance here, so that's going to confuse every Pokemon on the field with Teeter Dance, including the Spider that sat down beside it, you know? So Mew is going to be confused at the moment, and so is Sceptile. I need like one attack to take out the Spider, and also I was thinking even if I don't, the Sea of Fire will be able to take them out, right? So we got a Surf here from the Arachnid. That's not going to take out Ludicolo, but it sort of just does minimal damage. That's also going to activate Mew's Citrus Berry too. So obviously a lot on this team relied on my Mew here. So a little bit of fire damage there. The Pineapple is going to get cooked. I think that actually took the Pineapple out. Yeah, it did. So rest in peace there, Ludicolo. You ended up on some pizza, you know? So we got one more turn of that fire damage on the Arachnid, and then it's going to faint. Next Pokemon is the Bruxish. So I started focusing I was like, I better focus my attention on this Bruxish because the Spider, you know, the Spider's going to faint anyway this turn. Unless they get some, like, I don't know, Leech Life or something like that. So they're going to go for an Ice Fang. That completely dominates Sceptile, sadly, in one shot. Its Strong Jaw Bruxish is actually very, very powerful. Does a lot of damage there. So that's the end of my Stellar Pokemon. Now, with Mew, I was hoping to get an attack off on it. I just went for, like, one of my Pledge moves, Grass Pledge, and I hit myself. So that was very, very unfortunate. So we had some confusion on the Arachnid here, but they managed to get a rest off. I was like, oh, that's unlucky because, you know, the Sea of Fire would have taken them out. So I was like, dang, that really sucks. So now it's back to full health there. They've got the Chesto Berry on there to heal themselves off too out of the rest. So I was like, all right, I need to come up with another strategy here. I've lost my Scepter. Okay, I've got Blastoise. I don't need to panic here because I've got Blastoise. I can come in there and do some damage. I've got some options. And I can maybe have a go at that. Also got Greninja as well. So bringing in Greninja here. Greninja is very, very fast, as you know. And I do like these pledge moves. It's really, really cool. So I've got a combination here of either going for a double combo to take out the Spider or to get rid of the fish, you know. I was thinking about this for a bit because the great thing about Mew and Smeargle is they learn all these moves, which is really cool. So I can sort of pick and choose what I'd like there. So in the end, I was like, I better try and target the Bruxish. And they swapped the Bruxish out, right? In comes her Gun. Is that Spanish? I'm not sure. Anyway, well, in comes Quagsire. Now, Quagsire couldn't have swapped into a worse move, right? So we had a double swap there. We had Bruxish and the Spider coming out, and then we had Quagsire and Primarina coming out. Primarina also can be quite a good pledge move user. So I went for the combination of the Water and Grass, and they combined together, and that was a protein. That was a protein attack, 150 base power on the Quagsire. It rolled it out there. Its entire family tree just got like, you know, fossilized forever. All right, so we got that swamp on the field, which is going to be good for Bruxish. If you noticed, it was outspeeding me, so there was a very good chance that it was Choice Scarf, right? So we got the Sea of Fire on the field there, and then that obviously just ended. Next Pokemon, of course, is the Bruxish again here. And Bruxish, I do need to target here because it is doing some pretty good damage. So I've got a combination here. I was like, I could go for the grass. With the Greninja, I can go for the grass or the water or the fire, right? So there was a couple of options to go for there. And I also had Electro Ball too, so I thought, well, Electro Ball is going to do really, really well here because there's a swamp on the field. So And even a faster Pokemon, they're going to get hit pretty hard by that. And I also had Rock Slide too. I was like, oh, what do I pick here? There's so many good combinations. So Mew's going to be confused here, and I went for Electric Ball. I gave in and went for that. And I was like, man, that just absolutely dominated it. Like, that should have lived normally, right? But, you know, with the effects of the Swamp, that was bad. So went for the Rock Slide there, and Rock Slide is going to land. It doesn't do a lot. I was hoping for a flinch here, but unfortunately, it didn't happen, and Crunch decimates Mew. So Bruxish is taking numbers at the moment. Next Pokemon is Smeargle. This has a sash, so I was like, well, at least I can leave one attack, and I might be able to get a combination off here to take out this Bruxish, you know? Also, if you notice, there is a sticky web on the field, but with the Swamp, I was actually able to steal that speed stuff, which is, you know, a really, really good example there for you. So now Greninja's got to go for the Water Pledge. I'm comboing this with Smeargle. I was like, I want to see the damage on this. Let's go for the combination, and that took out the Bruxish easy, right? So this sweeping Smeargle was crazy. So Bruxish is down. The threat is gone. Only on PIMPNITE channel where you see a Bruxish be an incredible threat. And we've got Endeavor, so I was like, oh, okay. So it doesn't really have a lot of presence, this Arachnid. It has Surf, Endeavor, and Rest, for instance, Sticky Web. So that's its moveset. So I was like, do I even need to worry about this Pokemon too much? Or should I just get rid of it? You know, what should I do here? So in comes the, oh, is that Cluedo, like the board game? How you got to guess, you know, you have like some cards and stuff, and you got to guess who did the crime or whatever. We've got a Terra here. I was like, it's definitely going to be Inteleon. Now, I went for the combination, grass combination here, but of course, Inteleon went for Terra Grass too. So I'm like, yeah, that's not going to faint it, right? So Water Pledge off the bat here. I went for the Water Pledge, and then I went for the Grass Pledge combination here. So we're going to combine those moves. Really good damage there from Smeargle, like incredible damage, and I reset the Swamp onto the field there. We're going to get hit by an Ice Beam here. That dominates the Greninja. Nothing I could do there, completely destroyed me. So now we got Endeavor here. So basically on their team, the big attackers were Inteleon and Bruxish. I'd say Primarina too, but I didn't really get to do much damage with that. So I had a couple of kind of bad moodies there on Smeargle, bringing in Cinderace now. So I thought maybe I could get this to work. We could get rid of the Inteleon. So I've got the Water Pledge combination, and I've also got the Cinderace had Fire Pledge as well. So I had that to go for. But I was a little bit wary because I'm like, Inteleon most definitely has the Snipe Shot, and that'll dominate Cinderace, and maybe I should go for a different type of move there. But I thought, well, if I'm going to get outsped, I'm going to get outsped. So I did get outsped, and yeah, Inteleon just completely destroys me. In fact, that thing would have beaten most of the Pokemon on my team now that I'm sort of looking at them. So obviously I went for a normal Water Pledge there, which, you know, did nothing because it wasn't a move combination. So now the Arachnid is going to go back to sleep, so there's not a lot they can really do. I think they're just stalling me and waiting for the Inteleon to finish off the battle here. So I've got one more Pokeball left on my team. As you know, that's Blastoise. So I was like, well, I think that Blastoise can live this attack kind of badly, and then hopefully we can finish off the Inteleon here. I mean, I've got Fire Pledge on Smeargle as well, so that could be a good idea to, possibly go for that too. So I definitely started targeting the Inteleon. Here comes the Snipe Shot on Smeargle. Didn't actually take it down to its sash, and which makes you think there's a bit of bulk of this. And I also went for the double combination move. Smeargle unloading, taking it out with the Disrespect Pledge move there. So that is the end of the Inteleon. Regardless, I think I was fainting at this turn, right? Now, we had to get rid of the Spider, right? So we got the Rainbow up, which is going to double the secondary effects on the field. And I thought, well, this should actually take 2 hits from Smeargle and Blastoise, or maybe 3, because it does have a monster special defense, right? So getting some moodies here. I'm in the mood, guys. Now, I got Fire Pledge, and I've also got Grass Pledge, but I thought, well, we want to hit this with... I guess we want to hit this with the water and the grass combination. That'll probably be the best one to go there. So I chose the grass on Smeargle. Look at that damage. That's really, really impressive. Like, when you think about Smeargle's special attack, which is virtually, non-existent, right? So They're going to remain asleep there because they put themselves to sleep earlier on. And now I can deliver the final blow on the Arachnid and take it out. And that is going to be the end of the battle there. Smeargle doing some fat damage at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are, make sure you hit that like there. If you've got any other cool, like, theme ideas you'd like me to do, or maybe you want me to cover in the future there, maybe that I have before, put them below. And if there's any mechanics in this video that you're confused about and you want to know, ask some questions too. I'll try and answer them. Thank you, my random opponent, Lolix, for the battle there. Let's get on to battle number 4. I've got 5 battles today with this team. All right, this is an interesting battle too. So first Pokemon we got here is Grimmsnarl and Cleaver. So Grimmsnarl typically does the same sort of things in every battle as does Cleaver. So I thought, let's target Cleaver, because that's going to get rid of my sash. First things first, Grimmsnarl is going to go for a trick here. I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be a choice item or something annoying like that. And Mew got a choice band. So it's like, that sucks, because now I won't be able to use all my pledge moves. I'll only be able to use one. However, I did go for Fire Pledge and a Grass Pledge combination turn 1, and that got absolutely dominated. So that's the end of Cleaver. So not a bad start there, not a bad start. That is also going to put the Sea of Fire onto the field straight away, which is good. That's going to chip away at the Grimmsnarl on the field there. I guess the only bad thing is Grimmsnarl did steal my Citrus Berry from you too. Next Pokemon is going to... Oh, it's Arvin's Greedent, right? This opponent bought a couple of cool Pokemon too. So Greedent typically does... he normally eats a berry, does some sort of combination there. It can be a physical sort of buff or a attack buff or anything like that. So first things first, I just went for a raw grass attack there on the Grimmsnarl. Now, I was actually trying to get all 3 of the grass, water, and fire pledge, special secondary effects happening on the field at once, right? So bear that in mind during this battle. So we got the Greedent getting some stat boost there. Grimmsnarl gets hit by the CFI, but it's going to be able to use that Citrus Berry. It tricked away from the Mew on turn 1 there. So I thought, I might actually target this Greedent because it's going to be fairly bulky, and it could become like a problem down the track. So I got a speed boost there, which was interesting. So I thought, maybe I'll do a type combination damage here with Mew to try and take it out. I was very, very close here, almost going Stellar on the Smeargle, but I was like, I don't want to because bad things could happen. So Grimmsnarl's going to, plus Grimmsnarl I figured might have Taunt as well. Smeargle got taunted so often, but most of the time it never ever even mattered, right? So Smeargle's going to go for its water type move. Mew now goes for a Grass Pledge thanks to the Moody boost in speed, and Greedent got absolutely dominated by a crit. That was 150 base power, holy spot. And then Shrek's Swamp appeared on the field again, which is cool. So we got that quarter in speed there, not that it really affects Grimmsnarl at all, but some of those faster Pokemon. So we got the Swamp and the Sea of Fire on the field at the moment. The thing that was sort of holding me back here was since they gave me a choice item at the start, I couldn't set the last one up. So I was like, oh, that sucks, right? So in comes Oinkologne. Good to see Oinkologne being used. And we're going to bring in Cinderace here. They'll probably confuse why I wasn't, running standard moves. I was doing all the pledge moves, but it was really fun. You guys should try these moves out sometime. They're good. So we're bringing in Blastoise now because Mew is locked into one move, and we got Stuffed Cheeks here on Oinkologne. Now they're going to increase the defense, and they're going to eat a Salak Berry. So that's pretty smart because that's going to increase the attack. The defense and their speed too. Unfortunately for them, the Swamp is on the field too, so that's sort of working against their strategy a little bit. So a couple of rounds of fire there. That pork's starting to, smell. It's getting ready for dinner. Now I've got the Water Pledge here and the Fire Pledge combination with both these Pokemon, and I was thinking, maybe I should try going for Blizzard again? Try and get a freeze. Grimmsnarl's going to go for a parting shot on Blastoise, dropping its stats. I think by this time they figured out what I was doing with the moves too. So we got another Greninja coming in here, and I went for Fire Pledge this turn with Cinderace, and Blastoise now was going to do the attack. They deliberately did it on Blastoise, how they dropped my stats, because they knew that was going to be the Pokemon that was actually attacking, right? So setting a Rainbow up on the field, doubling our secondary effects. Here comes Body Slam. And unfortunately, the secondary doubled affected me instead. No, I didn't. I'm just joking. I got a bit of bad luck there getting paralyzed, right? I thought that was kind of ironic that I set that up on the field, on their side of the field. I will say the rainbow obviously doesn't affect, doesn't affect them, but it affected me instead, which is really quite funny. So I've got the Terra here, the Terra Stella on Blastoise, and I thought I may as well get some good spread damage here. I could use Blizzard or Muddy Water, any of the two. So I went for Blizzard, and of course the pig dodges the Blizzard. I don't know how, it must be because it was on fire running around. And guess what? I got a nice freeze axe. It worked again. I was like, yes, this is great. So I got a freeze axe, right? But you wouldn't read about it. I went for the fire pledge, right? Did 2 damage to Oink alone, and obviously I just fainted there. And as Cinderace was fainting, I'm like, it'd be bad if Greninja sort of, thought itself out, right? And you know what happened? It did, right? So first I got hit by a Thief, and it stole my bag of salt. And then Greninja thaws out. I was like, oh, come on. It didn't even last a turn. And then they went for extra Sentry. So they turned themselves into a Psychic type. I think there's some sort of like flinching thing. So I brought in my Sceptile now. I was ready to go here. I was thinking maybe I should target Greninja because I don't know how much of a threat the pig is, right? So the pig's going to go for Body Slam, and that finishes off my Blastoise here. I don't think my Swamp was on the field anymore, so it was out speeding quite a lot of my Pokemon. Greninja's going to go for an Ice Beam here. It is not proteined on turned into an Ice type, so I was actually able to live it, which is really, really cool. That bulky Sceptile. And now with the Unburden ability, I can sort of dictate with the pledge moves there, the Grass. So I went for Grass, good damage on Greninja. Bringing in the Smeargle now, I was like, oh man, Smeargle's going to have to do the heavy carrying now of damage. Only on PIMPNITE channel, right? So that's not really how I wanted it to work out, but it was quite funny that Smeargle tended to do that, just because of its speed, right? It's not that fast a Pokemon. So I was like, well, I guess I could go for both of them, but then I was like, if I do that, if I just go for a singular Grass or Fire Pledge on each Pokemon, I'll get outsped. But if I do it with Sceptile, which outspeeds it, and then Smeargle has to go straight afterwards, it's like After You. The move After You? That's a good explanation of how that move kind of works there. So we got some Roast Pig there on the field. It's got one more turn. Body Press is going to take Smeargle down to 1 HP with the Sash there. So I was kind of glad they attacked Smeargle instead of Sceptile that turn. All right, so we got the Sea of Fire hitting again. And we've got 2 Pokemon left, apart from the pig. So the Rainbow disappears, and I got an attack boost there, which sucks, and it dropped my defense. So that was virtually a useless turn. Now, the Taurus comes out here. I was like, all right, I'm very confident I can beat this Taurus. Now, I've got Water Pledge, and I want to see how much this combination does. I wanted to do this for science. I went for a Grass, and then I went for a Grass and Water combination on the Taurus. I'm like, let's see how much Smeargle can actually do. It did nothing. I was like, oh, no. So we got the Swamp on the field. I thought, worst case scenario, I put the Swamp on the field. I got to do it for the video, right? I got to try and use these effects. And Sceptile's going to faint there, which sort of sucked, but that's how it is. So we've got Taurus going for a Trailblaze here, but I'm like, that's funny because that Trailblaze is not going to mean anything with your speed being actually courted. So that's down. I was like, all right, I've got a Choice Band and Mew left that can't do anything. And I've got Greninja. I was like, I can't help myself. I have to try and do this, right? So we got the Sea of Fire on the field, finally taking out the pig. And I've got Greninja. I thought, if I go Helping Hand on Mew, I'll lock myself into Choice Band, but I'll give Greninja some more base power, right? Or should I just go for the pledge moves and finish them off, which would be really easy? We don't take the easy path around here, people. We try and get the W with the most disrespectful strategy. So I was like, all right, I go Helping Hand. Worst case scenario, I instantly lose this battle because I'll be locked into Choice Band and Rock Slide misses, or I don't. And then this came up, this camera angle. I was like, what is going on? Look at this. Let's get a like on the video for an amazingly well-made game. So giving Greninja a last-minute clap here. I was like, it was more like a pray. And going for Rock Slide. Rock Slide, I got the Protein Rock happening. It does absolutely monkeys to both of them, and I didn't get a single flinch at all. So then Taurus targets me. does half my health there, and then of course Grimmsnarl targets Greninja as well. So I'm like, all right, well it looks like I just lost the battle there. And when I obviously I could have won there, but I tried to go for the disrespect flinch at the end there. Because I thought, the flinch and the Sea of Fire would have been a really cool way to end it. I managed to actually feint Grimmsnarl with that though, but obviously Taurus was able to live that really well. So they're going to go for a Terror, which is absolutely, definitely, positively needed because I'm locked into Choice Band Helping Hand, and Mew is going to obviously, it's obviously going to feint there. So yeah, it was still a pretty fun battle there. I kind of threw at the end going for that, but it was still fun. I don't regret it, guys. I never regret trying out things. You gotta. Sometimes these videos, they're for science, right? So I hope you're enjoying it so far. What do you think of the pledge moves? Do you like them? Do you like what's your favorite combination? Do you like the rainbow? I think the rainbow opens up a lot of secondary effects there. The swamp gives you good speed control, and the Sea of Fire is just like damage. Last battle here, this one is against Lucas. Guess what, guys? They had a team of 6 Magikarps. This is a full-up random battle. I don't know if this is a viewer or not, but they had 6 Magikarps, level 1. I was like, all right, I've got to bring Smeargle and Mew. Because, let's even this battle up a bit, right? I reckon I can beat 6 Magikarp. So I had an idea in this battle. I was like, if I want to try and get every single pledge move on the field at once, right? I want to get the rainbow. Look how fast the hell the game actually, did you see that? The game actually glitched because how fast the health is going. Ready? I'll do it again. So first we got the rainbow up there. That was good. Obviously, I need all the secondary effects I can get against these, these level 1 Magikarp. Magikarp's going to go for a splash there. I don't know. I don't know if you can splash in the swamp. That should be effect, right? If you get the swamp out and then you go for splash, you should be able to direct the swamp back to the opponent. So out comes Magikarp, number 2 here, going for Grass Pledge now. We've got the rainbow up. It's time to put Shrek Swamp onto the field, right? I could have easily gone for individual attacks, but that would have completely spoiled it, right? So second Magikarp is down. Now we've got the Swamp and the Rainbow all on the field at the same time. All we need now is the Sea of Fire. Now something really, really cool happens at the end of this video. I actually had a brainwave during this video, right? But I'll tell you in a second. So we're going to target these Magikarps. It's important we take them out. They're very scary. So we got the grass combination again, and the fire this time to make the Sea of Fire. I love these type of moves so much. They're really cool. I do hope we get some more of these in the game. So Magikarp is gone. So here we have, people. We've got the Sea of Fire on the field as well. I'm even going to show you on the screen how it looks when they're on the field there. Magikarp splashing. I don't blame the poor fish. With all that fire around there. Poor little Magikarp. I got rid of that focus sash that should have been there. Now, next Pokemon, which will surprise you, of course, is Magikarp. And now, here we go. So there's the Rainbow. That's on my side of the field, and the Sea of Fire and Swamp is on the opponent's side of the field. So that just shows you what it's like and that they go for 4 turns. I just thought I'd show you that. Now, this is where I had a good idea. I'm like, can I make it so I lose to Magikarp? How can I possibly lose this battle, right? And I had sort of a thought. I'm like, what I need to do is I need to actually get rid of the last couple of Magikarp and then leave it to the last one and then see if I can, the Magikarp can defeat me. So I started attacking myself, and I'm thinking, if I keep attacking myself, I know that I can get rid of one Pokemon, but how can I get rid of another Pokemon? Right? That's going to be difficult because these Magikarps obviously had no attacks at all. They were only splashing. This person was just, doing the meme, right? Which is fine, right? Whoever had this Magikarp team, tell me in the comment section. I want to know who you are, all right? Because this can't be a coincidence that you use this team against of me, right? So now we've got a Terra Magikarp, like, oh, damn. And this is a Terra Water Magikarp. So, sadly, Magikarp actually lost Hydro Pump, which really, really sucks. So, I went for a final Grass Pledge there, taking out that. And we've got 2 more Magikarps left. We got the Terra one too. So I went for a singular Grass Pledge. I had to take out this threat, guys. And now we had 1 more Magikarp left. Now, can we lose this battle to the Magikarp? This is the question, right? Is it actually possible to do that? I don't know if anyone's figured out what I'm going to try and do now, but keep watching. So we got that, I think the Swamp ended there. Not that it ever mattered at all. Next Pokemon is out there, and then I hit myself with some damage there. So I used both the attacking moves on the Mew and the Smeargle there. So I just used Water Pledge and Fire Pledge and Electro Ball, those sort of things. Then I set the Sea of Fire, or the Sea of Fire actually was about to end. So I hit Smeargle there, and then I went for Water Pledge. And I was like, I wonder if you can do a double type combination on your partner, right? What I mean by that is I use, say, Water Pledge, and then Mew uses its move, but I attack my teammate. Well, that still worked. Does that actually work with these moves, right? So I tried it. So I went for the attacking move, and it actually worked, right? And and I was like, I want to put the Sea of Fire onto my side of the field. So I fainted my Mew, and I was like, is this actually going to start attacking me as well? And then I faint to the Magikarp. And guess what happened, guys? The Sea of Fire actually can be put on your side of the field. I was like, what the heck? So like, this is it, people. This is pure content, right? We have a Magikarp splashing there. I was like, all I got to do is just wait like 2 turns and I'm going to faint it. So like, this is great, right? All I got to do, put the Magikarp to sleep there. Magikarp can have like a sweet dream of swimming in the sea, of no Sea of Fire, and defeating like a Mew and a Smeargle, right? So it's having a little sleep there. I'm going to go for Spore again. My health is diminishing quickly there, all down to like 2 health. And I can just go for Spore. And then this turn, the Magikarp actually wakes up. I thought they may try and slip in a disrespect tackle, but they didn't. They let me faint to my own Sea of Fire. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, my opponent, you guys can't bring these super powerful, sweaty teams. You know, I don't know how I lost, guys, but I did. You know, it was interesting, right? Look at that team. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. What a great video. Drop a like, people. Peace out.